Are you fed up with dying in Fortnite? Do you guys just want to get that solo win? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips that will transform your game and get you a victory royale. Coming in at tip number 1, we have land mid-population and emphasize gathering materials. I know there's a lot of us who like to land tilted towers and retail row and get a lot of kills under our belt before we go out and fight some more. But instead of doing that, you guys are going to want to land mid-population and put an emphasis on gathering more materials and more loot. Now, what exactly do I mean mid-population? Landing in a city that's mid-population typically refers to the middle of the battle bus drop. If you guys are landing the first battle bus drop every single game, you risk dying early on by not having any materials or any loot to fight with. Getting a good drop doesn't always mean that you guys are getting the most overpowered shotguns and the most overpowered assault rifles in the game. This basically means that you're going to want to get the most amount of materials that you possibly can before you get into your first fight, as well as having your favorite guns in the game to work with. Personally, I like having an AR, a shotgun, and then a deagle, and if I don't have a deagle, I usually run SMG. That's a good drop to me. Instead of always hunting down for kills when you first drop, the first thing you're going to want to do is loot the house that you might be landing on, or maybe even loot the Christmas tree that you're on, because currently we have Christmas trees. Once you get your guns, then you want to immediately start farming materials. Farm as much wood, brick, and steel as possible. If you can out-loot everybody else in the first drop by getting more materials and keeping yourself covered while fighting them, you'll have the advantage every single time. Tip number 2 is going to be rotate early, obtain natural high ground, and get the best advantage point. As the game progresses, there's going to be more circles and there's going to be more rotations. You guys want to make sure that you're the first ones there. Typically what this allows you to do is get the natural high ground as well as get the best advantage point for people who are coming into the circle. Now if you guys do obtain the natural high ground as well as getting the best advantage point, you might be able to hold that the rest of the game. You might even be able to rotate easier if you guys are the first people there. Rotating early also allows you to get more materials if you guys are low. Now make sure that you're not just only getting wood. You guys want to make sure that you're also getting brick and steel. Now you want to build with brick and steel in the final 20 players alive. The reason for this is because wood is definitely by far the weakest material out of all 3 in the game. If you guys are building with brick and steel, you'll be able to survive fights longer and make sure that you actually keep some brick and steel for the final fight. It's imperative that you guys build for the final fight with brick and steel and not just wood. The reason for this is because everybody has the best guns going into the final fight, so make sure that you guys do conserve some brick and steel. Obtaining natural high ground automatically puts pressure on your enemies as they're going to have to use their materials to build up to you. Now keep in mind that if you guys have one of the highest mountains in the game, it's going to be very hard for people to walk up to you and kill you. Now that being said is a huge advantage, and you guys can sit there and you can camp and you can build your base getting ready for the final fight. Coming in at number 3 is build bases and turtle in the final fight. A lot of people like to run out in the middle of the open in the final fight, and typically this is where the best of the best players are, and the lobby is the final fight. Think about it like this. All game, people have been getting killed, and these people who are in the final fight are not one of them. That means that they know what they're doing, they know how to build, they know how to play, and they're probably there every single game. Now do keep in mind, if you guys don't consider yourself good, don't go into panic mode when you play these people. With these tips, you'll basically be in the final fight every single game, and don't worry, there's always going to be more final fights that you guys are going to get into within solo matches. So just make sure that you guys keep your head clean and keep your head calm, and make sure that you guys don't have any negative thoughts when you're going into the final fight. A quick tip that I want to give you guys for building bases in the final fight is basically not peeking through the top of your build. So when you guys build your 1x1, put a roof up on top and put a pyramid on top, put a pyramid on your floor, and then just use window peeks. The reason for this is because a lot of people have snipers in the final fight, and a lot of people have really good aim in the final fight. With this being said, you guys can use the windows to shoot your enemies and not get shot yourself. Now with that being said, you guys do have a really strong chance of actually getting sniped at if you're aiming at somebody who has a sniper. So do keep that in mind. The reason why the turtle strategy is such a good method for the final fight and every fight in general is because it eliminates the option of third party for other players. You're going to keep yourself covered the whole entire time, and you're actually only going to be shooting at people who you want to shoot at. Anytime you're in the top 20 players, the last thing that you guys want to do is fight in the middle of the open. If you guys ever do get into a fight, make sure that you guys turtle and make sure that you guys get ready for the third person, because the third person is definitely going to come up from behind you and try and kill you. So these were 3 tips. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys smash that like button, and as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Comment down below and tell me how many solo wins you guys have this season, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.